Uh, Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today's lesson is going to be a short description and definition of the term supply chain. So, guys, the most important thing to note in a supply chain, the most important thing to note about this concept of supply chain is that, guys, there's a lot of definitions of this term. So I'm not going to choose any specific definition, but what I can say is that they all basically say the same thing. So guys, in a supply chain, there's usually 3 or more entities or organizations or companies, guys, that are involved in the delivery of a product from the supplier to the customer. So just gonna make a short note here. So a supply chain consists of 3 or more entities. So as I said, these entities are involved. These entities are involved in producing a product or services to a customer. So a supply chain, products and information flow. No, products or information flow from the supplier to the customer. So guys, what this means is that, as I said, there are 3 or more entities. So usually there's a supplier who is a raw material supplier, and then there's a manufacturer, and then sometimes there's a distributor, and then there's also retailers. So I'm gonna give example of each of these entities in a supply chain. So there's retailer, and then there's a end customer. So in this example, we've got how many entities? Number 1 is the supplier. Number 2 is the manufacturer. Number 3 is a distributor. Number 4 is a retailer. And then there's a customer, guys. So a supply chain has got physical, there's a flow of physical products together with information, guys. So what happens here is that there's a flow of information between the supply chain partners. So guys, these entities are sometimes referred to as partners in a supply chain. And as I mentioned before, their job is to get the product or information from there to there. And sometimes information flows from the customer to the retailer, distributor, manufacturer in a reverse direction, guys. So in other words, the customer specify what they want to their supplier. So in this case, the customer supplier is the retailer, and the retailer supplier is the distributor. The distributor supplier is the manufacturer. And then raw material. But ideally, guys, information flow is usually between the manufacturer and the customer. So the manufacturer will communicate with their supplier as to what raw material they need. So in this case, The manufacturer is the customer of the supplier. So information, yeah, just to summarize, guys, to put it correctly, the information flows from the customer to the supplier. So as I was trying to explain here, guys, so each of these supply chain partners are suppliers and customers of each other, depending on how you look at it, guys. So there's a flow of physical products together with information in a supply chain. So, guys, this scenario, guys, formulate a basic supply chain. So I think that is the most simplest and basic explanation of what a supply chain is. Remember, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share the videos. Thank you. See you in the next lesson.